Good morning. I was just watering some plants and so I figured I went on a garden walk in a minute. We are starting some fall cucumbers, all the brassicas, so we've got coffee, that'll be a greenhouse experiment. We have broccoli, stevia, Brussels sprouts. We have lettuces, spinach, some more lettuces, asparagus, lavender, and strawberries. Again, this is another greenhouse experiment, and then onions for next spring. Um, I'm hoping to get those in the ground in October so they have time to establish. I brought all the shelves down so I have more shelving and more storage. And then that's like my planting shelf over there. So soil trays with some pots and more pots. And then all my tools are back there. And there's a garden spider in here. So we let her do her thing. We pulled out all the tomatoes and basil. It still smells like basil in here. We did mow around with strawberries. So we did lose some, but not a lot. But obviously I still need to weed in there. Then this corner, most of these fruits have been going to the bugs. But there's a tomatillo here, there's a ground cherry that's been demolished by some sort of worm, cherry tomatoes. Like I said, most of these tomatoes, maybe this one's a good one. Nope, it's starting to rot. So they go to the birds. And then we harvested our sweet potatoes. I can show those towards the end of the video. And we're kind of getting a different vibe over in that flower bed. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Where do I want to start? Let's go down this row. We had I was going to trellis summer squash in this bed, and this was a transplanted marigold that still did phenomenal, but the squash didn't do so well. In here, holy basil, sage, elderberry, celery, more elderberry, more sage, celery. There's a tomato. This is not elderberry, that's something else. That looks like some sort of brambly thing that's got... Anyways. My peppers are still doing great. I'm still getting a lot. Still have a lot of hornworms. My tomatoes did not do well. This trellis by this time is usually covered, and it's not. I'm not sure really what happened there. I did interplant beans, and I am getting a good amount of black beans. Not as many as I thought, but that's neither here nor there. We cleared this entire row out. There was volunteer marigolds and volunteer sunflowers and volunteer basil and volunteer tomatoes in here. But I did plant all of the celery. We are trying to bring it back to life by watering it daily. But yes, I have tons of peppers that need to be harvested, so that's been fun. The jar of spider webs are everywhere, so let me just get through those. But some more beans. The companion planting to get the hornworms obviously is not working. Like, that plant has been demolished by hornworms. I'm certain that's what eats all of my pepper plants. But part of it is I'm not out here enough, and that's just the season we're in, and that's okay. All of these zinnias are still gorgeous, but they are getting a mildew. They have some sort of blight. So I will probably end up pulling these soon. but we won't be planting winter crops in this bed. This bed does not get enough sunlight in the winter to plant. So when I say they're everywhere, can you see these spider webs like across the walkway? So I might not go down this one. This one again, more peppers, more basil. The corn, we didn't love how it tasted. I want to say it was Silver Queen that we planted. It's very starchy. So I have a feeling I harvested it too late. These will get pulled up and thrown into the other bed, the wildflower bed. And if I get corn next year, I get corn next year. If I don't, I don't. We've got our mud kitchen. It will end up moving into the play yard space, but that was a project that hasn't happened yet. Again, more volunteer zinnias and marigolds, and I love it all. The morning glories are all volunteers, and I've got a couple of tomatoes on this trellis that were also volunteer. Again, product of me not being in my garden enough, but it is what it is. So we'll probably clear this out. I will leave whatever brassicas are in here. There's collards, there's kale, there might be some parsnips and more like root type brassicas in here, but I'm not sure. We'll cut back this basil to get all the dead flowering stuff off. Plus we've got to pull this morning glory out of the oregano. That is my first time ever growing mullein. I'm super excited about it. This is weed, but it's obviously related to the mint and basil family. So yeah, that one's kind of chaos between bugs and stuff. The center over here, we did get one cantaloupe and it was pretty good. It was a personal size, so it was about that big. And it was perfect for our family. I do have a watermelon over here. So again, another personal size one. So apparently I can't grow full size, but I can grow personal size. So that's cool. I might just then grow only the personal size next year. Basil that's gone to seed. More corn. I didn't bother harvesting none of that. Again, I'll pull all the beans and the corn. Woo-hoo! Sorry, another Joro nest of webs I forgot about. That's why I didn't walk through there in the first place. So that is that. I feel like we're just really in this season of transition. We're pulling out the spent summer crops and transitioning to those cooler weather crops. Even though we're still, in the 80s, it's fine. Been slowly pushing these marigolds back into, oh my goodness, look at this one. That one looks like an orb weaver. Let's see if I can get it from that side. It's pretty cool. So, that one looks like an orb weaver. It has got more of a circular pattern, and the webs are not as strong. The drawers are strong. You cannot get those webs off of you. Anyways, I'm going to push all these marigolds back into the bed. Something's obviously bedding down in there, and it's killing some of them, but that was all volunteer. I do kind of want to rake them down a little bit so they're not just at the top of the hill. I kind of want to get this a little more interspersed. These were morning glories that we pulled when we cleared that bed the other day. Any plant that I didn't mind the seed reseeding, I put over here. So there's morning glories, zinnias. I love this bouquet of cosmos and the white zinnias. It's just gorgeous. I haven't obviously deadheaded anything. All the sweet potato vines we threw over here. That is a volunteer tomatillo, I believe. More marigolds that we had picked, and I picked an entire handful off this one plant the other day. Something's obviously eating all the leaves, but it's still producing beans, so I'm letting it. Those were black beans that had been in my pantry for 3 years, but they made a like a green bean. And I think I didn't love the green beans, is why they were black beans. These little sunflowers are just so cute, but they're 2 feet tall. So it's just kind of a fun little scavenger hunt to find them. And those pure white zinnias next to the bright orange marigolds is gorgeous. In my opinion, we've got some more zinnias in there. So yeah, that's our sea of marigolds along that side. And so then there's also another weed that obviously is mint. I'll walk down here. This morning the cows are across the street. This is my favorite time of year. One, the mornings are cool, not cold. The light is slow, and the cows are out. They tend to have them in this pasture, which I knew they raise Brangus cows. Oh, I see a bull out there. So I'm not used to seeing brown cows over here, so I don't know if that's a change in breed. I'll have to ask my friend that knows him. But yes, that's one of the best parts of my day. So there's that view. And then I look this way and block out the sun a little bit. That's a pretty fun view too. Let's see. Oh, sweet potatoes. I was going to show you my sweet potato harvest. I think I planted 3 sweet potatoes. Obviously, we are very kid friendly here. Everywhere is kid stuff. This is my sweet potato harvest. So, I don't have adequate curing area for them. So right now I'm trying to just keep them in the shade and keep them cooler. But the leaves are falling and the leaves are changing colors. It is my most favorite time of year. Only thing that would make it better is if that tree was still blooming, and it's not. So, another view back over the farm. The garden's up there, into the barn, and our chicken yard. We did process 3 American breast chickens. So they're the pure white chickens we have. They are a red, white, and blue chicken. They have a bright red comb, a white body, and they have blue feet. A lot of influencers really pushing this breed. They're a true dual purpose. They were slaughter ready at 18 weeks. So we had a little small class with, I didn't feel that. Let me finish this. Anyways, a small class on how to butcher chickens from our local gamesman, and that was pretty awesome. We were not a fan of the legs, but the breasts were really delicious. I think next time I'd probably roast them instead of just baking off the chicken, so that we can tenderize that meat a little bit more. But it kind of gives me hope that maybe we can do some crossbreeding and get a better quality meat bird out of our very much just farmyard mixes. But I do have some pretty breeds, so I'm excited to see where that takes us. We were supposed to do meat birds on year 2, and here we are almost to year 4. So we'll see how that goes, but that's kind of how farm life happens. So Y'all have a blessed day. Enjoy this gorgeous weather.